How's it going? Welcome to History of a Haunting. This is our live recording on Facebook of our, what is this, Laura, 5th mini episode?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Stop it. 5. So for those of you who are just joining us, we do mini episodes where we recap when we go on a paranormal investigation of a location. So I'm kind of blown away, Laura, that this is number 5.
Yeah, that seems about right, though.
It does. Let's let everybody know what we are covering today. Laura, tell them what we are covering.
We are covering our investigation of the 1910 jail investigation that we did, what was it, like 2 weeks ago?
Was it already 2 weeks ago?
I think so. Pretty close, right?
Yeah. In Globe, Arizona. Yeah. I flew home to Phoenix specifically for this. This event, you guys, we had, it was a podcast friends and fan event, and we had actually been planning it for, January of this year. And then COVID got all uppity again, and so we had to reschedule it. And then I moved in February. So we rescheduled it for December 4th. And we had a good time. I think it was quieter than I expected it to be. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. It seemed pretty quiet as far as like a ton of interaction. Like we've had more at other places for sure. Yeah.
Hey, Libby. Libby is joining us. Libby was also there with her husband, Shane. Libby and Shane, I have been friends with them since high school. So I was really super excited that they were able to join. And they wore their History of a Haunting sweaties. Sweaties? What? Sweatshirt hoodies.
Yeah.
Sweaties. There you go. That's what we call them here at History. Sweaties.
Sweaties.
Whatever. They wore those. So yeah, we had a really great time. I flew home to Phoenix. It was the first time that I had been home since we moved in February, and it was really wonderful. So essentially the purpose of this episode is just to kind of tell you guys what happened and all of the things that we experienced, and we have some evidence to play for you. Guys, hey Karen.
Hey Karen.
Yeah, Karen is another one that I have been friends with for a long time, and she was there. She was also sporting her sweaty, and I don't know why I said that. We did look like a gang. It was a lot of fun. Hey, live studio audience is here. Hi, Mommy. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was really great to be back in Phoenix. Laura took me to all of my favorite restaurants, Filiberto's, Garcia's. Clearly, I was missing Mexican food. Mexican food here in North Carolina is not, terrible.
Jam.
But it's not, it's not the jam. It's not Arizona. So yeah, Laura took me to all of these amazing restaurants that I had been missing. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so you guys, this location and this investigation is, it's one of those where it was a fairly quiet evening. We were there Laura and I got there about 5, and then everybody arrived between 6:45, 7 o'clock. We did a tour. We showed everybody where the hot spots were. We told them the history, and we gave them their equipment, and then we set them free. So we had a lot of fun, but it was kind of quiet. And as the night went on, we left about, when did the last of us leave? About 11:30, 12 o'clock?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Hey, Jennifer, my cousin Jennifer has joined us. Welcome. Thank you so much for watching. We're recapping our investigation of the 1910 jail in Globe. So when we got there and everybody kind of dispersed, and we had some folks go up to the third floor, we had some folks go to the second, and then some of us did some EVP work down on the first floor. It was fairly quiet. We had, not a lot. We heard some. There were some bangs that we heard. One of Karen's friends, Nadine, heard her name called, like whispered to her right there at the end. My friend Andy, who you guys that are longtime fans of the podcast and have listened to just about every episode, Andrea Langston is the owner of Love Heals Rescue, and they are one of our sponsors. She's also the woman who fostered all three of my dogs. So Andrea is a very, very close friend of the podcast. She was there, and along with her son and her future daughter-in-law, Anna. And Anna was choked by something on the stairs, that landing right there from the stairs to the entrance to the second floor men's tank.
Yeah, I think that's where it was.
Yeah, so Anna got choked. She was really obviously freaked out about it. We kind of paused Laura and I were going around to the different groups and investigating with them, doing some spirit box work, things like that. And so we shuttled Anna outside, let her get some air, and then she said she wanted to come back in, but didn't really love the idea of having to go back to the second floor. I definitely wanted to find out who choked her, why. I did speak with Molly, who is the one that runs all of the tours and things like that at the jail, and I had told her about the night, and I had told her that Anna had gotten choked by something, and she was like, whoa. And she apologized for it. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, lovely. Molly's a really wonderful person.
She's so nice.
She's super nice.
She's so nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we did have, those were kind of the experiences. We did have some weird EMF spikes on the third floor in what was the trustees' dorm room. Mm-hmm. A family friend of ours, Barry, had come with us, and he had actually done a little time at the 1910 jail back in the 70s, and the third floor of the trustees' tank was where he was. So when we went up there and kind of showed everybody, that he was like, oh, okay, this is how it was set up, kind of like barracks, and so he was able to give an actual, firsthand account of what, life was like at the jail and what it was like to actually be an inmate there. Trustee or not, he was an inmate. So he had a lot of fun stories to tell. I think he kind of enjoyed being back, just kind of wandering around. And
yeah. He's a character, man. He's a pretty funny guy.
He is. Yeah, he really is. And he's been a friend of our family for, way longer than I've been around. I think my mom and him not grew up together like from little kids, but like when they were younger, and so Libby, he was awesome. Yeah, Barry is really wonderful. So, Laura, what was some of your initial impressions of the night and some of the experiences that you had being the skeptic of the show? Talk to us a little bit about your, thoughts, feelings, etc.
Again, it was a pretty quiet night. Like, not a lot happened. As far as the EMF detectors or the REM pod and stuff like that didn't really go off a lot. Not like, it has at other places. So, there's definitely, it can definitely be creepy in there just by itself because it's dark, it's old, it's, you got those dark corners and the way light shines through the bars too when you have your flashlight and you're kind of walking around and, so you kind of catch yourself like, whoa, what is that? And then, shadows and stuff. So you can freak yourself out in there, I think, pretty easily too.
Yeah.
So, I did think it was, besides being quiet, it's a really cool building.
Yeah.
Just to go and poke around.
Just the history alone.
Pretty intact, yeah. And the graffiti and stuff, that still from when the inmates were there. I mean, all of that stuff is very interesting, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Right.
A lot of it's not awesome.
But
it definitely adds to the character of the place and the authenticity, obviously, because it's real. But in the feeling that you get when you go through there, knowing that, you know, this is what people were writing on and carving in and doing while they spent their time there. Yeah.
And the cells were so small. So just there was a point where
so small.
We had done some EMF work, and you and I sat on one of the cell bunks in the women's tank, and it was like, God, so claustrophobic. Can you even believe that people spent, you know, I think Barry said that if your sentence was 6 months or less, you did it there at the 1910 jail. And if it was more than that, you were transferred to one of the bigger prisons within Arizona, be it Florence or Yuma Territorial or what have you. I couldn't imagine it. And it was freezing in there. There were a lot of...
It's cold.
It was really cold in there. When I had been there 2 years ago, it was in the middle of August, and it was sweltering. It was horrible because not a lot of air moves through there, even though there's broken windows and some of those, you know, they weren't closed all the way, but there's not a lot of air that's circulating through that building from even the outside. So just being there, you know, an inmate there in the winter or in the summer, really, really miserable. Really miserable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because we were cold and we were prepared for it. Like I had hoodies on, our sweaties, and I had a hoodie on.
Yeah.
And it was still chilly.
Yeah, for sure. We only were able to do one Facebook Live, and that's just simply because, you know, we got busy right away. So we did do one Facebook Live, so thank you to everybody who tuned in for that. But that being said, you guys, with not a whole lot going on, as far as, like Laura said, EMF spikes, we use the REM pod. There wasn't a whole hell of a lot going on with that. We did do a sensory deprivation, or the Estes method, with the spirit box, wherein you have one person, and I was that person because Laura was like, fuck no.
That shit.
Yeah. And you've got a group of folks that we did it on the second floor cells. And I went out with the spirit box. I had forgotten my headphones, so I had it down on low, and I was outside on the stairs outside the cells. And I had my eyes closed, and I plugged my ear, and then I was listening to the spirit box while they asked questions. Not a whole lot happened with that. We certainly did. The very first time we ever tried the Estes method was when we were at the Stanley Hotel in room 401, and we got a lot out of that one. But not a lot happened with this one. So it was a quiet night, and I was kind of bummed because, you know, it was a big event, and folks drove for, you know, hours to get there. Some stayed overnight. Some drove back to Phoenix. So I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't more activity. However, I did tell Laura that it would probably, you know, come down to any EVPs that we might catch. And I hope that we would catch a handful of them. Simply because I really did... Oh, yeah, Karen, that's right. We did get called an asshole through the spirit box. Were you there for that, Laura?
Yeah, and when you screamed, like that high-pitched thing that it did to you, and then...
yeah.
Didn't you hear was it the asshole that you heard? And then I came out, and because you thought you heard it from downstairs?
No, that was... Libby and I had heard that, and it was after we were done. And I actually have... Libby actually caught that interaction on hers. So I'm going to play that, but other than that, the spirit box was kind of meh. But yeah, my... something did scream in my ear through it, and Laura heard it.
I did. I could hear it.
And then at one point...
Closer to where she was.
Yeah. And then at one point, I felt somebody rushing up at me from below.
That's what it was. That's why I came out. I remember at one point, and I was kind of hanging out.
It was terrifying to feel like somebody...
Because you were kind of weirded out because you obviously you were deprived of your senses, so I got out there just to kind of keep an eye on video and stuff.
It was really creepy, just to have that feeling that somebody is rushing at you from below you. So we did have that, but like I said, we at the end when we were on our way home the next morning, I told Laura, I'm like, it's really just going to come down to EVPs, and I certainly hope that each team got enough. So we had 3 teams, and then also Laura and I had an EVP recorder that we were going around with, and you guys, this group captured 48 EVPs during this night. From 7 p.m., a little after 7 p.m. until about 11:30, 11:45, this group captured 48 EVPs. I was blown away. Like, I kept texting Laura, and I'm like, oh my God, there's another one and another one. We're up to 15. Oh my God, we're up to 20. Holy shit, we're up to 30. Oh my God, and to the point that I, like, yes, and Karen actually wins the EVP, the EVP game, because she captured 21 EVPs alone.
That's a crazy amount of EVPs.
It's a crazy amount of EVPs. And we didn't capture that much when we went to Trans-Allegheny, and we were there for 8 hours, and it was Trans-Allegheny. But we had so many, to the point that I was like, you know what? These clearly, I'm doing something wrong. Yes, Jennifer, this was the one that your mom was actually going to go on with us, but she was unable to attend because she had to work. So we had so many that I thought, you know what, my mind is playing tricks on me. I'm not hearing these. This is not right. And so I was sending them to, like, Chris and Audra, and I was like, can you amplify this? Can you hear this? Is this, am I insane, essentially? But no, every single one was an EVP, and it was absolutely insane, you guys. It was absolutely insane. I have never, ever, ever had an investigation where so many EVPs were captured, and I've actually never heard of an investigation where so many EVPs were captured. So we are going to play some of them for you. We are not going to play all 48. All 48 EVPs are actually going to be given to our Patreons. And I'm currently working on that now, but it's going to be a minute. I'm hoping to get that done and to you guys by the new year, by January 1st. But like I said, there's 48 of them. So we are going to start with Andy's team, Andrea Langston, the owner of Love Heals Rescue, one of my dearest friends. We're going to start with her EVPs, guys. And we've got 3 from Andy, 3 from Karen, and 3 from Libby. And then we do have a really, really funny and sad experience that we also... that we also want to show you. I do want to preface this very first EVP that we're going to play for you guys. This is from Andrea again. She was up recording in, I believe it was the women's tank on the 2nd floor, just across from Kingsley Old's cell. She was recording with her son and her daughter-in-law, or future daughter-in-law, and they had left. And I actually confirmed with Andy that she is not the second voice in this EVP, because I actually thought she was. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and if you need me to replay it, that's fine. Let me know. Here we go. This is titled Get Out, because I kind of feel like every haunted place has some ghost telling you to get out. It wouldn't be a true haunted place if they didn't. So here we go. Do you guys want me to play it again?
Yeah, play it one more time.
One more time? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the volume is up as loud as I could get it. So if you guys need to, just crank the volume up so that you can hear it. So let me go ahead and play it again. And that's not Andy's voice. The more I hear it, the more I'm like, that ain't Andy. I don't know who that is.
Sound like Andy.
Yeah. So, Archie. You're not Archie. You're Laura.
Okay.
No, I looked at my text from Archie, sorry. So I was like, hey, Arch, Laura, what are your thoughts on this particular one?
It's good. I mean, it's a little faint. I've heard the other ones though, so I know
Right.
um how clear some of them are. So
Yeah.
this one's it's definitely good. I mean, you can make it out, but it's a
Yeah.
little bit fainter than some of the other ones, but
Yeah.
still a good solid EVP.
Yeah, for sure. This next one, and I meant to write down like all the situations, and I didn't because I'm a bad podcaster, guys. I say it all the time.
I want to do that.
I mean, whatever. This next one is another one from Andrea, and I believe we were all doing. Yeah, this was during the Estes method that we were doing. So you hear me call out something, and then you guys all react to it. And then Andy happened to capture this female. So you're gonna have to crank the volume up for this one, guys. It is a little faint, and we'll just see what you hear. Hang on, let me see if my buttons work. If they may not. See her.
Which one? Can you come close to this and set it off?
All right, let's see.
Can you tell us your inmate number?
See her.
Which one? Can you come close to this and set it off?
When I turned it up a bit louder, now my headphones are still too loud. I could make that out like better the second time, like cranked it.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it was interesting that I had said see her, and then we captured this female going, how long will you be here? Wow, rude. So that one was a really cool one. There were so many, you guys, so many good ones. This last one from Andrea, honestly, it's titled Thanks, and I don't remember the situation. I know the second I hear it, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. Also, just keep in mind as you're listening to these EVPs, guys, that the jail is on one of the main roads through Globe. So there was a lot of traffic on the road. It was noisy. Throughout the night, we would be like, oh, that's a cat. That's another cat. There's a lot of feral cats in Globe, so we were hearing those. Of course, those were being captured on the EVP recorders. So you will hear traffic in some of these, but fortunately, I was able to kind of drown that out and pull the EVP forward. I'm getting better at it, so yay me. Yay! So this is the last one from Andrea, and it is titled Thanks.
You want to come back? Stay with us? No. Why not? We're very fun.
Do you need me to play that one again?
I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. That's
You
a
can really make it out like quite easily.
yeah, that's a really good one. Do you want me to play it again? Okay. Yeah. Right. Crazy, right?
That's a good one.
Okay. Let everyone listen to it again. Hang on.
You want to come back? Stay with us? No. Why not? We're very fun.
I think that one's cool too because you asked, do you want to come back and like talk to us or play with us or whatever? And I spit out no. So I thought that was really cool interaction with the Estes method and the spirit box. So those are just some of the ones that Andy had captured. She actually captured 16 of them. And one of them, which I thought was really funny, I've actually sent it to Chris so that he can kind of enhance it a little bit better. And he and I hear different things in the EVP. So Andy is just talking. She's got the recorder going in her hand. She's talking to her son Riley about how she needs to use the bathroom. And we had cut the power to the entire building. So he's like, are you sure you still can? Meaning like, is the toilet functioning? Is it whatever? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'll just use my flashlight. And she's like, I've done this before. I've been camping plenty of times. I've gone to the bathroom in the dark by just using my flashlight. And she's like, even when there was no toilet. And she captured an EVP that said impressive. Male voice saying impressive. And I was like, oh my God. Just the idea that like, that a ghost was like, just like listening to the conversation. And she was like, I've gone to the bathroom in the dark a ton. And he was like, impressive. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought
that they have a sense of humor,
Right, exactly, right? So, I thought that was really great. We are going to move on to Karen's EVPs. And Karen had, like I said, she captured 21 EVPs. They were fucking stunning. Hers was the very first set that I had listened to. So it was really difficult to pick out which were the best ones of the 21 that she captured. So here are the 3 that I have chosen to share. And I have already sent all these EVPs to Karen, to Libby, to Andrea, so that they've got them and they know. But this one is titled Ha Ha. So hang on a sec. I believe in this one, Karen is joking around with you. And she says something that I can't quite make out, and you laugh. And you laugh. Yeah, she's like, oh, Laura's blah, 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 something. And you laugh. And then she captures an entity laughing as well. So hang on. Here's Karen's haha.
Nice.
It was Laura that was on that. Just kidding.
Did you catch that one?
Yeah, I did. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So I'm going to go ahead and play it again for everybody so that they can hear it again. It's kind of a quick one, so hang on, I'll play it again.
It was Laura that was on that. Just kidding.
So crazy, right? That was such a good one. The next one that I'm going to play, she and her friends did spend a significant amount of time up in the second floor women's tank that was right across from Kingsley Old's cell.
Right.
And I hated that area. I hated that area because the last time I was there, Tony and Sheree captured an EVP saying Carrie's in trouble and another entity saying who cares. So I had a lot of anxiety about being in there. But this time it felt rather calm. So this particular EVP is from Karen and her team up in the women's tank. And they're asking for Jenny. Now, Jenny was a brothel owner in Globe, and she did spend some time there as well. She is known to not like women because she feels like the male spirits there, they love the women, and she doesn't like that. So Jenny is known to make the temperature colder around women investigators or just women who are there on tour. She tends to pinch them, pull their hair. She's kind of a bitch. And so in this particular EVP, they're doing some work in the women's tank and they're looking for Jenny. So this is called Is Jenny Here?
Jenny here?
That's another quick one. It's a spirit box session and you can clearly hear through the spirit box something comes out with no. So I'll play it again for everybody.
Jenny here?
That's a really quick one, but I love it. I really do love it. I do enjoy the spirit box. If you can get past the constant noise of it, which is sometimes very difficult, especially if it's loud and if it's in a space like this jail that's very, very echoey.
Right, it echoes a lot.
It echoes a lot, and the spirit box alone is just very difficult to listen to, but I really do enjoy it because it's EVPs in real time. So that was a really good one. The next one that I'm going to play, the third and last one from Karen that I'm going to play, is titled Oh Well. And Karen, actually out of her 21 EVPs that she captured 2 of children. And when Karen and I were talking, and I was sending her some of these EVPs, and I was like, was this somebody in your group? Was this you? Was this whoever? And we were kind of trying to figure out, is it a legit EVP? Was it somebody in your group? Because Nadine was very soft-spoken. Her friend Nadine was very soft-spoken. So I was like, was this her? Was this... No. The 2 EVPs that she captured, and I'm only going to play one of them, was a child's voice. And I was like, what child would be there? And then we remembered the 2 girls that Kingsley Old had murdered.
Right.
That had come to him in his dream, and they had been captured before at this jail. So this one is titled Oh Well. No, that did not work. Oh no.
I was like, I didn't hear it.
Oh God, it didn't work. It didn't work with the button. Hang on. Let me check something really quick. Shit. Okay, let me try something else, guys. You guys have to hear this EVP. I assigned the same code to her EVP as I did your video.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, hang on. Let me find it. I'll find it. Hang on. It's so good. Wait a minute. Oh, no, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. All right. It's going to play over us. It's not going to be great, but anyway.
Okay, bye Jenny, you had your shot.
Chance.
We're moving on. Okay, bye Jenny, you had your shot.
Chance.
We're moving on.
Pick out.
Yeah. Yeah, these are really good. I really enjoy them. I was just so blown away by just the sheer volume of EVPs that everybody captured, and I had really hoped that we could, you know what I mean? Because like you go on one of these investigations, especially, you know, it's an overnight one, you drive really far, like you really want to get something, and I really wanted these guys to have the best time. And then it was just so like mellow, and not mellow, I mean, obviously, you know, Anna got choked or what have you, but so I was really bummed that not a lot happened that we experienced, and so I was really hoping for some EVPs and that they would be good, and boy did I get my wish. So that was Karen's last one. I thought that was really good. It was a child's voice saying oh well. And she and I were blown away, and when I sent that to her I was like, oh my God. And yeah, she and I were blown away. We had a really good time with that one. The next one that I am going to play is the next 3 are Libby's, and I'm just checking the assignments I've given to these videos to make sure that it doesn't get screwed up again.
Good idea.
Looks like we're good. Okay, so in this one, Libby and her husband Yes, Karen, it was super crazy to hear that. So Libby and her husband Shane were actually up on the third floor, right out of the gate. That's where they went. And if you remember, Laura and Karen and all, you guys that were there, the third floor was really quiet. It was like eerie quiet. So that's where Shane and Libby went, and they actually captured some EVPs up there. So let me go ahead, Zane. Let me go ahead and play Libby's. It's a female whispering. Hang on.
Yeah, play that one again.
Play it
It's
again.
pretty faint.
It is pretty faint. Yeah. Let me see if I can do it from here. It almost sounds like people talking outside, but there was nobody else. So Andrea and her group were down in Kingley's cell. We were down on the first floor. They were the only ones on the third floor. So I'm going to play it one more time. And you can, like I said, it kind of sounds like there's conversation outside the door. They were the only ones up there. So hang on. It's
Yeah,
on
I
it.
can't make out what it is, but you hear that like little bit in the background. And the third floor was like the street sounds weren't really
Yes.
coming up there. It was like much quieter than the rest of the jail as far as
Right. Yeah.
noise pollution.
Right. Much quieter. So I thought it was really interesting. The next one that I'm going to play from Libby is that moment where she and I heard a voice. And the situation was we had been doing that spirit box, that Estes method session outside of the second floor tank 2. And we finished, and we were kind of dispersing and going, like, some folks went downstairs, some folks went up, and we were headed upstairs to, I believe, the third floor, or we were going out to the Bridge of Sighs. And I shut off the spirit box, I pushed down the little antenna, and I shut it off, and I put it in my pocket. And this situation happened. So this is called Just Stop. And I lost the button. Hold on.
I'm like,
Head upstairs.
Alright, I'll follow you then.
I don't know, I heard that too. It sounded like it was over here, didn't it?
It sounded like it was coming from my pocket.
Maybe it
I don't
was.
have the radio on. Yeah, that was a crazy one because she and I both heard it. And it did sound like it was coming from the SB7 in my pocket. And the SB7 is little, guys. It's like this big. It looks like a tiny little radio. So it's not huge. So I just kind of had it in my pocket because it's cumbersome to carry all this equipment around. But she heard it and I heard it, and I was like, that's when I was going upstairs, and I turned around and I was like, what was that? And she was like, I heard that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it again real quick.
okay.
Head upstairs.
Alright, I'll follow you then.
I don't know, I heard that too. It sounded like it was over here, didn't it?
It sounded like it was coming from my pocket.
Maybe it
I don't
was.
have the radio on. I was so bugged. I was like, I swear to God, this radio's not on. The male laugh that you hear is Shane. So, yeah, it was crazy. And it wasn't the last time that we would hear a voice like that. I was just like, oh my God, thank God she was recording. She captured it. Holy crap. I was so excited. Because it's one of those things where, you have that experience and you did, you shared it with somebody, you both validated what was going on in the moment. You knew it was just, you were there, Libby was there, Shane was there, I was heading upstairs. I tell you that, you're like, okay, I'll meet you in a second, and you went off in a different direction, and it was Libby and Shane were coming up. So we had that validation from each other that we all heard that, but the fact that she captured it made it even more important. So then that just kind of validates the three of us. Did you happen to hear it? I don't remember where you had gone.
I don't remember. I feel like I was like not far. I don't know if I heard it, but I heard you guys talking about it. So yeah.
Okay. Now this last one is one that, and I didn't spend any time in the meditation room. It was that room up the stairs to Kingsley's cell and then off to the side. I didn't spend any time in there, but they happened to do an investigation in there, and so did Andrea, and they both captured EVPs in this room. So I was like, well, shit, next time I'm going to have to spend some time in here. Here's the one that Libby captured in that room. Again, it's real faint. You can't really make it out, but here we go. Maybe.
This is more like solitary.
So she definitely gets something. You can't quite hear what it is, but she definitely gets a response. I'm going to play it one more time for you guys.
This is more like solitary.
I'll tell you what, it's just, this place was really, really crazy. The other really great thing that we all experienced was when we went as a full group toward the end of the night up to the third floor. And I didn't capture any EVPs. I had left my EVP recorder running. They use it as storage now, guys. So I left my EVP recorder running, and during Halloween, the jail does a haunted house attraction. So all of the stuff that they use in it is kept upstairs. So there's coffins, there's like fake cast iron gates, there's like all kinds of stuff. But Karen had her EMF detector going, and I had mine in my pocket, and she was getting insane spikes. So I started filming. So here's a little bit of the video that I took of that. Hang on. This is like the... It was just constant. These EMF spikes were just constant. And it was from both of us. So she had hers going, and then at some point I clicked mine on because I was like, this has got to be some weird thing. We checked, there was no, again, we cut the power to the entire building. So there was but there wasn't even really any sort of like place where electricity could run. There was like pipes.
Right.
But there wasn't really anything where there was like outlets or a light or anything. It was almost like something was hiding in that back area. And her EMF detector just kept lighting up all the way to red. So then when I turned mine on, it was lighting up. And I'm like, who is back here and why? Like, why? It almost felt like they were hiding.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
What were your thoughts during that whole... It was weird.
It was so weird because the third floor, it is just kind of a strange... There's like two pathways. Think of it like a hoarder house where like...
Right, they just have those two areas. Yeah.
It was like kind of in the back, and it did move around too. Like it would kind of come and go a little bit, but so it wasn't... I mean, it's not electricity. It would have been pretty stable, right? Like in the same spot.
Right.
We're getting that, but it wasn't. That's not what was happening. So
yeah,
and it was validated by the fact that there was two.
Right. Exactly.
Hers on, right? It wasn't hers like going crazy for,
no reason
or something.
Right. Exactly. Hers kept going off primarily in that third floor because then from there was like that steep ramp up that took us to the stairs that took us to the Bridge of Sighs, and something at one point was leading Karen up the stairs. She was following this EMF track. And then I had mine down on, there's a little school desk underneath those stairs, and I had mine clicked on and set on that school desk, and something was lighting it up. So it was just, Karen, the storage room was really popping. There was a lot going on, but so quiet. It was so quiet. It was the quietest place in the whole building.
Well, and I think, too, because there is so much shit in there, like, it dampens the echoiness that we get everywhere else.
Right.
And again, it's further away from the street noise, so, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. The windows seem more intact. So a lot of that stuff was, it's more, like, that you have the steel door, there's, there was a lot of stuff that was keeping it quieter, too.
Yeah. So Karen says, I got chills when that happened leading up the stairs. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to need to follow her soon, because if this thing leads her somewhere crazy or dangerous, like, I have to be there. And then she was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, okay, good.
Let's not go out on the bridge.
Alone, that a ghost led you to. So it was pretty crazy. So we had one final thing that we want to show you guys, and this is what Laura and I are calling the lottery video. In that, when you play the lottery, this video is very similar to when you play the lottery, say the Powerball, and you're one number off from winning the main jackpot. That's how this video feels to us. Super Karen, I'm not that stupid white girl. Okay, I am, so I hate you. This video is Laura and I have had so many laughs over it. It was, so many laughs, and we are calling it the lottery video because it is very much that feeling of you're just one number away from winning the big jackpot. So the first thing that I am going to play is, fortunately, Andy recorded the interaction. So I'm going to play that. And I have put on the video, well, you guys will see it, kind of like closed captioning, because it's a little hard to hear what Laura and I are saying all the time. But we're going to play the audio first, and then we're going to show you the video. Hang on.
Why? Where am I looking? Up the stairs or? No, I just picked the fuck out. Okay. There it is. Wait, come back. Jesus Christ. Dude! Fucking God! Where were you? Right there! I was right there! Just right now? Yes! That's okay, don't shut my phone, don't shut my phone. Alright, I'm sorry. She's freaking out. Yes! It's over there. And
Wait a minute, Laura, I gotta see this.
Yeah, we gotta see it. Hang on.
It was so, like, everybody in that room was like, what the fuck is going on? What did Laura capture? What happened? So
Do you want me to preface this?
Yes.
Okay, so we were doing like EVP work in the middle of like the cells. So there's cells on both sides and then a walkway down the middle. So we're all kind of gathered there. It's pitch black. I'm kind of using my flashlight and just videoing around. And towards the entrance to that cell block, you can see like straight up the stairs to, on the left is the women's tank, on the right is the Kingston's cell.
Kingsley's cell, yeah.
Kingsley cell. So it's super dark, and all of a sudden I see a hand just, you'll see the video, like pop out and pop back in.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I clearly freaked out, as you can hear in the audio. I was like, Gary!
And then she like showed me, but she had
backed up too far.
She had backed up too far. She's like, look at the stairs, and I'm like, okay, there's stairs. And so then I was like, all right, I'm like, and so I went on to finish what I was doing, and she calls me back, and she's like, no, wait, here it is. And I was like thinking it was an orb or something. she shows me this video, and you heard me. Dude, like, it was insane. Like, I made such a stink that even Andrew was like, okay, Laura, I gotta see this. Hang on.
Yeah, and when you go back and you see the video, you can see
it
is, but like when you're in the dark and all of a sudden that happens, I was like, what the fuck?
And we had been in the dark for a while. Like, it is pitch black in that jail. So our eyes were adjusted to that nothingness light and just flashlights. And it is fairly quick.
It's funny.
It is, yeah.
You just have that like moment of like, oh my god, what just happened?
Exactly. So with all that introduction, let me show you the video that Laura captured that freaked us all out.
It's funny.
Hey, Donna. Yeah, so I am going to actually go ahead and play the video again. Let me know what you think. Once Laura and I saw it, we were like, well, okay. Hang on a sec. That's what she shows me. And, like, you guys heard my reaction. She was freaked out. And I'm like, hang on, wait a second. Because I'm like, at the time, I thought that Karen and her team were in the women's tank. So I go charging up the stairs. And Karen pokes her head out of Kingsley's cell where that arm comes from.
Right. And they hadn't made any noise either because they knew I was right there. So they weren't making any sound either. So then when they, like, she popped her hand out, like, we didn't think that anybody was, I didn't think that anybody was up there because I had kind of been walking around. I hadn't heard anybody else. So I could, you know, you guys were doing EVP stuff behind, like, right behind me. So it was just funny when it happened. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. So long story short, it was Karen's fucking arm. Fucking Karen. God damn.
Karen ruins everything.
Damn it. Her new name is Marie Calendar. God damn it. We really thought we had captured something fucking amazing. And I'm like, hang on.
2 seconds.
For about 2 seconds. Until we must, I don't.
There's an Andrea's like, no, it's amazing. Like, where are you?
Yeah, and then so we went in and I was like, Karen, did you just stick your arm out of the cell? She's like, oh yeah, I was just checking the EMF field. And it literally, yeah, fucking Karen. She's like, I got Laura good.
Dude, so good. I was like, oh my god, I totally believe now.
Right?
This is legit. I was like, I'm sold.
Seriously, like, she's our resident fucking Donna. So Karen likes to jump out like you, Karen. So Karen was doing some EMF work in Kingsley Old's cell, and so she wanted to see if that would track. It was the same in the hallway. So that's just her going in, you know. And you can see she's got, like, you can see, like, her wrist. You can see she's in a sweatshirt, and, like, you can see the EMF detector in her hand, and
yeah. But in the middle of the dark, when you just see something like a very light,
white, yeah,
ghostly hand come out, I was like, what the fuck?
I thought, I cannot fucking wait to show this to Tony and Cherie and Chris and Audra, and oh my god, we're going to be showcased on EVPE. This is going to be fucking amazing. Yeah. Oh my god, Laura's a believer now. She actually caught it, and it ended up being Karen's fucking arm.
Here's the downside of ghost hunting.
There is. Yeah.
It was a very Scooby-Doo moment.
It was a very Scooby-Doo moment. So Karen, my friend Donna, her comment there is, I met Donna when we investigated Trans-Allegheny back in August, and there were a couple of times where I had sort of popped out of a different area, like I kind of popped out at her and scared her, and the first time she almost punched me, and the second time she almost punched me, and I really didn't mean to do it, but she had been she had been doing the Essie's Mountain Spirit Box session, so she didn't see or hear me coming. And then the first time I had kind of gone in one door and come out the other, and so that's what she is referencing, Karen, with that. Karen just likes to pretend she's a ghost, apparently. So yeah, that is what we're going to end the mini episode with, guys. And to all of our audio listeners, we certainly. You can watch all of this on YouTube. This full episode will be uploaded to YouTube. You can see the video, the video that Laura captured of Karen the ghost.
Right.
Yeah, Karen, that would have scared you. It was just one of those things where like you could go in one door and then come out the other, and that's what I did. And I just happened to come out the door as Donna was walking by, and it scared the fuck out of her because we were obviously in a dark asylum. So, yeah, we had a really great time, and I think that the EVPs that everybody captured really made it more fun for them. You can't go to a location and expect there to be activity, doors banging, shadow figures, weird lights, whatever. That's just not how that works. So it does go to show, though, that even though you think you are investigating a location that doesn't have a lot of activity or any at all, because I know that Barry's girlfriend was saying she is a sensitive, and she was saying, I don't feel anybody here. There's nobody here. And she said that often. She was incorrect. Donna's apologizing for almost punching me in the face twice after we had just met. She was incorrect. That place was loaded with spirits, and we have 48 EVPs to back that up. So it just goes to show that even though you think there's nothing going on, even though you're not getting any EMF spikes, there's no temperature fluctuations, the REM pod's not going off, they are there. And they are all around you. And it's entirely up to them if they choose to interact with you or not. 48 EVPs shows us that we were surrounded by entities and spirits the entire night, which makes me feel a little bit better. And as a fairly new professional paranormal investigator, it does make me feel better to remember that even though that, doors aren't banging and whatever, maybe evidence is being captured in some other way. So we had a really, really wonderful and amazing time. I cannot thank all of you enough for joining us. We did have a couple of people ask about Archie, and there were some folks, Andrea for one, actually didn't know that Archie had left the show. So we did have some folks ask about Archie and if he was going to be there. But no, Archie did leave the show in July. Laura, was it July? I think
That's about right.
Yeah. So he had life and stuff like that he needed to tend to. So he did leave the show. But Laura has been with us for over a year now, and she's been doing great. So she was just the natural one to go ahead and step into those big, big shoes. And she's been doing a really phenomenal job. So, Archie, you were missed. And Laura, you are, we have the best time. You are the perfect.
Yeah, we did have the best time.
It takes a lot to be able to deal with me on a weekly basis, really daily, because there's a lot of back story that goes into producing a podcast and mania that comes from me. And you're perfect. You're perfect for that. We have a really wonderful time, and
we do have a really good time doing this. And
yeah,
I do want to say to everybody that came with us too on the investigation, you guys were great. It was so much fun.
God, yes.
It was so much fun to investigate with you guys, and I hope we get to do it again in the not too distant future.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, and you guys all did such a great job, and we're just a blast to be around. So it is a lot of fun to do these investigations, even when there's not a lot going on. Especially when you have such a great group like what we had, where it's just we're just having a good time,
Right, yeah, it was a very cohesive group. It was a lot of folks that really wanted to learn how to do a paranormal investigation. So we hope that you had a wonderful time. Karen says, oh yeah, I had a blast. I'm good, I'm so glad. I know that Libby did. I know that Andy did. And poor Anna, I feel terrible that she had gotten physically assaulted while we were there. But she seemed to have a good time. We did have goodie bags for everybody. We gave them a History of a Haunting drawstring bags, and inside was a personalized mug that looked like one of the old-time jail mugs. I wanted to show it, but I don't have it. Do you have it?
Dude, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Laura's got it. Oh my God, that's loud. There we go. So it's one of those old-time jail mugs, and it says, I did time at the 1910 jail in Globe, Arizona, December 4th, 2021. Inside that was a History of a Haunting koozie, and inside that was a teeny bottle of Jameson and a bottle of Kahlua, and then we also gave them some Roastbusters coffee. So we wanted to make sure that everyone not only had a great time and a fun investigation, but they left with fun goodies and gift bags. So our fans and our listeners are everything to us. You guys are the reason that we do what we do. You are the reason that we are one of the most popular paranormal comedy podcasts in the world, you guys. There are 2 million podcasts. And while it's not my favorite murder ranking, we are 4,600 in the world for podcasts overall. Out of 2 million. And so that's really saying something for an independent podcast that started out not knowing what the fuck we were doing and still not knowing what the fuck we're doing. So we thank you all so very much, and our fans mean everything. You guys, we're so glad that you guys joined us and had a great time. You guys are my friends, and I have really missed you. I'm so glad to see all of you. We had amazing pictures that we took. We're going to be posting that on our social media. And yeah, to that end, Laura, that is the end of the mini episode. That was our paranormal investigation of the 1910 jail in Globe, Arizona. So, little miss, why don't you do what you do best and let them know where they can follow us?
You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HOAH Podcast. And on the TikTok at HOAH Podcast, at HOAH Carrie, and at HOAH Co-host Laura.
Yes. And thank you, Donna. Yay. And Donna, you guys, Donna has been on our show. She was a part of us. Her and Connie were a part of our investigation of Trans-Allegheny, so you guys can watch that. It is, I think, mini episode 3,
I think 3, because then we did the other house, the house.
3, episode 3. Goddamn. Okay, I have problems.
The recap episode, not actually episode 3.
Yeah.
Tyler recap, yeah.
Although,
episode 3.
Actually, I think Trans-Allegheny is episode 3, but she wasn't on that one. She's on the recap.
Yeah.
Mini episode.
She was on the recap.
She was, and it was mini episode 3. Okay, anyway, these guys don't need to hear us figure shit out that we'll never be able to. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching this on Facebook Live. Audio listeners, we're going to post all of these, well, not the EVPs, but the video on our social media so that you can check in with that. And Patreons that are listening and watching, you will get all 48 EVPs coming at you by New Year's. Laura and I are going to take off. We're actually recording our New Year's episode right after this. To that, we want to say we hope you have a really wonderful holiday season. We love you very much. Happy New Year, and we will see you live again soon, much to Laura's chagrin. Bye, guys.
Yes, this is true. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.